What is up, Spider-Man Maximum Venom fans? I am back with another news video on Marvel Spider-Man Season 3, aka Maximum Venom. And so we're getting a brand new episode. This is, I believe, the third episode of the season. And it's coming out this Sunday, June 21st. And it sounds like it's going to be a good one. So I got lots of news here because 2 sneak peeks were just revealed. We also have Synopsis, and then also some promo images, and, well, some big stuff is revealed to us about this episode and all this news, and I'm really looking forward to this episode now that I know all of this stuff. So yeah, I mean, let's get right into it and just break down everything and try and figure out what's going to happen in this next episode of Marvel Spider-Man Maximum Venom. So we start off with the first sneak peek. And I will leave the links to both of these sneak peeks down in the description if you want to check them out on your own. But this first one, you start off seeing Spider-Man. And he's in his home where Aunt May lives. But then we get to see this symbiote. And it turns out this symbiote is actually Doctor Strange. So then this is Doctor Strange as a symbiote, because we know that throughout the season a bunch of our superheroes like Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, and all these other superheroes are going to get like consumed and taken over by symbiotes, and we've seen promo art and concept art of what they're going to look like. So this is what Doctor Strange is going to look like, and you know, he looks cool. You can kind of see the Eye of Agamotto there and everything, and he's got the cape and collar and everything, so that still looks cool. But I'm very disappointed by the way he looks, though, at the same time, because so this is how he's going to look in the show. And then if you compare that to the concept art, I mean, look how cool this is. I mean, honestly, just, like, they have this concept art and promo art, and they were supposed to base the design for the cartoon off of this. So then how did they come up with this based off of this? Like, you take this really cool design and then make it into this thing. I mean, it doesn't look bad. Like, this version that's actually in the show, he looks cool. But then when you look at what it was like before, like, why would you change it? So I just don't get that, and I'm a little disappointed that he doesn't look like he did in the concept art, because he looked amazing there. But, I mean, he doesn't look that bad, I guess. But basically, during the scene of the sneak peek, we're getting this conversation between Venomized Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, and I think basically we find out that Aunt May has been kidnapped. So I don't know where that's going to go. But that's where the sneak peek ends off until we get into the next one, which is, I believe, for the second part of the episode, because there's like 2 parts for every episode. And for this one, we start off with Ironheart and Totally Awesome Hulk, aka Amadeus Cho, and they are in the Avengers training program from what we found out in the last episode, which is basically this cartoon's version of the Young Avengers. So I'm assuming they're at the Avengers Tower, probably like on house duty, because we know that the Avengers are away. They were on a space mission, so they're probably like house sitting while they're gone. But then turns out things are going a little bad here, because the Avengers are back. They're just, you know, taken over by symbiotes. So this is our first look at Iron Man as a symbiote, and just like Doctor Strange, doesn't it all look as cool as he did in the concept art? But at least this one doesn't look as bad as the Doctor Strange one. I mean, this one at least looks a lot more like he did in the concept art. So I'm not complaining too much. I think it still looks pretty good. But like I said, why did they have to change the design? I mean, it looks so good. Then in this shot, this was just a really quick screenshot I took. And we get a photo of Doctor Strange fighting Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel is taken over by a symbiote here. So we don't really get a good shot of her, but this is basically our first look at her as a symbiote. But then here's another really nice shot of Doctor Strange. I mean, look at that. So this is obviously before he gets taken over by a symbiote. But look at all those magic effects there. That's really cool. So it's nice to be seeing him there. And then we also see that Miles is here battling the symbiotes along Peter as well. So nice to see all the spiders teaming up to join the fight. But then Ironheart is getting beaten up by symbiote Iron Man, and then we also see basically our first look at symbiote Captain America, and I'll show you some more looks at him later on in the video. But from what we can see of him right here, doesn't look as good as the concept art. I'm really disappointed by that. But now that was all the sneak peeks. So like I said, the links are down in the description if you want to check them out. But now I have the official synopsis, or synopsises. I don't know the plural version of that, but I basically have a summary of what both episodes are about. And then I also have a character list that gives us some big information here. So, yeah, as you can see here, the episode is called Vengeance of Venom. It comes out June 21st, 2020. So let's get into it. Alright, so the synopsis. Symbiotes from space send an advanced hunting party to Earth to take out all of the superheroes. Spider-Man must team up with Mark Spector and Max Modell to save the planet. Alright, so let's break this down. What can we figure out from this synopsis? Well, we already knew that the symbiotes were coming to Earth. We saw that in the first 2 episodes, because at the end of the first episode, we saw that beacon of light that Venom created was a signal that basically told all the symbiotes, come to Earth and destroy all the humans. But then the interesting part about this is Spider-Man must team up with Mark Spector and Max Modell to save the planet. Alright, so Spider-Man teaming up with Max Modell, I mean, that happens all the time now, especially now that Max knows Peter's Spider-Man. But Mark Spector, that's the interesting thing here. So, if you don't know who Mark Spector is, he is Moon Knight. He's basically Marvel's Batman, so he's really cool. He's one of my favorite Marvel characters, and this is going to be the first time we're seeing him on this show, so I'm really excited for this. And also, he's getting his own Disney Plus show, and it's part of the MCU and everything, so I'm super excited for that as well. But it's nice to be seeing him here in this episode, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how his costume looks and everything, and how he acts and stuff, and yeah, I'm just excited to see his character. Then we also have the synopsis for the specific parts. So, for part 1, in the midst of a symbiote attack on New York, Spider-Man must convince Mark Spector, a survivalist who has recently given up his secret identity as Moon Knight, to help him defend the city. Alright, so, I mean, not really much is revealed from this synopsis here, but it does tell us that Mark Spector is a survivalist who recently gave up his secret hero identity as Moon Knight. So, sounds like he's retired from the role of Moon Knight. He's not Moon Knight anymore, but I assume in this episode he'll probably go back to being Moon Knight, because he'll probably realize, the world needs him, the world still needs heroes and all that stuff. But he is a survivalist, so that's interesting. Definitely a different take and a unique take on the character. But like I said, I'm really excited to see how they portray this character in the episode. Then for part 2, in the midst of a symbiote invasion of New York, Spider-Man must work with a cynical survivalist named Mark Spector, who, due to personal tragedy, has given up his old hero identity as Moon Knight, to find Max Modell and create an Anti-Venom that could save the planet. Wow. Alright, so yeah, that wasn't really that different from the first one. So, cynical survivalist Mark Spector. So, it says he gave up his identity as Moon Knight due to personal tragedy. So maybe someone in his family died, maybe one of his friends, maybe his girlfriend or wife or whatever. I don't know, but I'm guessing someone died and he just gave up because he couldn't feel like he could keep going. But then the most interesting part about the synopsis here is at the end where it says Max Modell and create an Anti-Venom that could save the planet. So for those of you that don't know Anti-Venom, it's basically another symbiote from the comics, but it's a organic, science-based symbiote that was created in a lab, basically. So it's not an actual living being like the like Venom or Carnage or something that comes from another planet. This one is from Earth. They create it in a lab, so that's why it says Maximo Del must create an anti-venom. And it's basically Venom, but he's white, and Anti-Venom's job is not to destroy humans like Venom and the other symbiotes want to do. Anti-Venom, all he wants to do is cure the world and, preserve immunity and stuff like that. So basically, Anti-Venom can burn and kill symbiotes. So this is going to be a really useful tool for Spider-Man and the rest of his heroes, because this will be the big weapon against the symbiotes, is the Anti-Venom. And I'm also looking forward to seeing who wears the symbiote, because every symbiote has to have a host. Well, actually, I guess not now, because in the first episode we saw that Venom didn't need a host. But in this, since Anti-Venom is going to be a newer symbiote and they're creating it, I doubt it will have that ability to be on its own without a host. So I'll be interested to find out who actually wears the symbiote. Yeah. So then here we have a character list, and look away if you don't want to be spoiled, because there are some minor spoilers here of just some of the characters that are going to be in the episode, as well as which characters are going to get controlled by symbiotes. So, I mean, it's not really that big of a spoiler, but, I mean, if you don't want to know anything, if you want to go into this episode knowing nothing about who's going to get controlled by symbiotes and stuff like that, then look away now. But you have been warned. So, of course, the main character is Peter Parker, a.k.a. Spider-Man. Then we have Maximo Del. Neither one of them are going to get covered by symbiotes. But then the next one is Mark Spector, a.k.a. Moon Knight, and he will get venomized. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he is designed for his symbiote, venomized version. Because, like I was showing you earlier with the sneak peeks, the characters don't look like they did in the promo art, and Moon Knight is one of the characters that we never saw the symbiote version of in promo art. I mean, we never even knew that he was going to be in this season. So, I mean, at least we don't have anything to compare him to, so there's nothing else that we will think is better. But I just don't think it's really going to look that good. I mean, compared to the ones that we've seen so far, I mean, they just don't look good, and I hope they look better in the episode than they did in the sneak peeks and stuff. But the next character, or characters, are Cloak and Dagger. Yes, so Cloak and Dagger, the two characters that appeared in last season, will be appearing here in this episode, and they will also get venomized, and I have some promo photos of what they're actually going to look like in their venomized form. And so Cloak and Dagger are interesting. I'll be interested to see who's voicing them, because the actors that voiced them in last season were the ones that played them on the live-action Cloak and Dagger show, but since then that show has been canceled, so I'll be interested to see if they return to the role after that show's been canceled and everything. Then we also have Miles Morales, a.k.a. Spidey. I still don't like his superhero name, but he's going to get venomized. We also have Anya Corazon, a.k.a. Spider-Girl. She will get venomized. Gwen Stacy, a.k.a. Ghost Spider. She will get venomized. So it's nice to see that Peter and Miles' friends are coming back, because like we saw Anya and Gwen in like the first couple minutes of the first episode of the season, and then we haven't seen them since then, and I really want to wrap up that storyline of them still not knowing who Spider-Man is, and I just really want them to find out that Peter is Spider-Man, because, I mean, it's so obvious. But then the next character is Harry Osborn, aka the Hobgoblin. So Harry will be back in this episode, and he will be getting venomized. So that sounds really cool, because we're getting a venomized Hobgoblin. I just hope it looks good. Ironheart will also get venomized. Captain Marvel will get venomized, and like I said, we saw her a little bit in the sneak peek. Captain America gets venomized. Thor gets venomized. Hulk gets venomized. Iron gets venomized. Doctor Strange gets venomized. The Totally Awesome Hulk gets venomized. And Groot gets venomized. So I say really the big thing from this character list are like the two big things. The first one is some of these characters like Cloak and Dagger and Harry and Anya and Gwen and Thor and Hulk being in this episode. That's something we did not expect, but they're going to be in this episode. But then another really interesting thing about this is that we're getting both Hulk and the Totally Awesome Hulk. So this is something we were worried about in last episode when we saw that Totally Awesome Hulk, aka Amadeus Cho, was introduced into the series, and he was like the new Hulk in the show. So we were worried that we wouldn't see the regular Bruce Banner Hulk as a symbiote, but now it looks like we'll be seeing both of them as symbiotes. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, one Hulk symbiotized or venomized is bad enough, but two of them, ooh, that's even worse. But now on to the promo photos for this episode of Marvel Spider-Man Maximum Venom. There's several photos here, and they reveal a lot to us. Not only characters, what they're going to look like as symbiotes, but also, like, different plot points and stuff. So yeah, let's get into it. I mean, this first one really shows us nothing. It just shows Max and Peter. I mean, that shows us nothing. But then the next one, we got Spider-Man, Miles, and Doctor Strange. I'm guessing they just saw a bunch of symbiotes come to Earth because Peter or Spider-Man looks scared or surprised. And then we get this awesome team-up shot of Spider-Man, Dagger, and Ironheart. So this is a really awesome shot, and it's not very often that you see three characters like this together in a battle, but it's really cool to see them in this episode. And this is a shot that actually takes place right after the first sneak peek that we looked at, because you can see Doctor Strange is venomized, and then he's actually there with an army of symbiotes. So I'm not sure if those other symbiotes are like actual superheroes or if they're just random people that got venomized. But it looks cool. Then we see here Baby Groot, or Toddler Groot as they're calling him in the show, he's getting venomized. That's right, that adorable little twig is going to turn into a little monster. So that's not good. But he definitely looks cool. I think he's one of the coolest looking symbiotes here, because he actually looks like he does in the promo art. So I'm excited for that, at least. Then here's our first look at Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight. Now, it doesn't really show us what he's going to look like as Moon Knight, but you can tell that it's him because he has the white hood on, and, you know, Moon Knight's whole costume is white. But the interesting thing here is that he's not wearing the rest of his costume. It's more of like he's got like a gray jacket on, he's got some green bags, a belt and stuff. So that's why the synopsis says that Mark Spector is now like a survivalist and stuff. So I'm guessing this is going to be like basically like a zombie apocalypse type thing, but with symbiotes. And Mark Spector is basically going to be like the apocalypse survivalist expert and all that stuff. So, like I said, very different and unique take on the character. But then this is one of my favorite promo photos right here, because we get to see the Hulk and he is venomized. I'm not sure if it's the regular Bruce Banner Hulk or if it's Totally Awesome Hulk, but it is a Hulk. And then we also see Baby Groot. Not sure if it's the same Groot or a different one, because we know that there are other Groots out there in the universe. Because in one of the seasons of Guardians of the Galaxy, we saw that Groot replanted basically his species, so he regrew his family basically. But we can see him here, and Groot is like a purple symbiote here. And I really like seeing the different colors of symbiotes, so I'm excited for this. This is our first look at Cloak and Dagger as symbiotes. They actually look really cool. I really like Dagger's symbiote venomized form, as well as Cloak, which you can see a better form of here, which looks really cool next to venomized Captain America. And Captain America actually looks a lot better here than he did in the sneak peek. So I'm actually liking it a lot more, because he actually looks like blue and red here. Because that's what really got me excited about the promo photos for this show, is because all the heroes were like color coded for their symbiotes. It's like the symbiotes were a specific color based on the character. Then also another great shot here, we basically have the Venomized Avengers. Of course, Iron Man front and center. We got Captain America off to the left. And then off to the right, we see a little bit more of Captain Marvel with the mohawk back there. But then off to the far right, we see our first look at Thor in this series. So it's really cool, and as you can tell, he actually has the shorter hair like he does in the Thor Ragnarok and Avengers Infinity War movies. Because back in Avengers Black Panther's Quest, I think it was last year, I did reviews on that show and everything, but Thor got a haircut in that show, so that it would match up with the movies. So that's why he has the shorter hair and not the longer Goldilocks hair like he has had on on these shows in the past. So I think he looks cool there. Then there's this great team shot here of the symbiotes. We got Miles down here in the corner, Spider-Girl up there, Doctor Strange. We get our first look at Hobgoblin as a symbiote. He looks great. I love the way he looks with the pumpkin bombs and his hoverboard glider thing. And then also we get to see Gwenom, which is Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider venomized. And Gwenom is an actual thing from the comics, so straight copy design from the comics. So I love the way she looks because it's an actual thing from the comics. So it's based off the source material. And then this is our final team shot right here. We get Spider-Man and Ironheart here, and it looks like they are outnumbered because there's the whole Avengers team covered by symbiotes. Once again, Iron Man, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Hulk, Groot, and Thor. Not really any new looks at any characters. We've already seen all these other characters in the promo photos before, but this is a better shot of Thor, and as you can see, he has Mjolnir, he has his hammer. There's a better shot of Captain Marvel up there, better shot of Hulk and Cap and Iron Man, so that's really cool. And then our final shot is Doctor Strange, and he is holding Baby Groot, aka Toddler Groot, and as you can see, Groot is venomized here, but this is anti-venom. So, like I said in the synopsis, it talked about Max having to create an anti-venom to stop the symbiotes. And I was wondering who would actually wear the anti-venom symbiote. And it turns out it's going to be Baby Groot, and that makes so much sense because, just like as it was explained in the Venom files over on the Marvel HQ YouTube channel, when Groot gets controlled by the symbiotes, he's like the perfect character to be venomized because he's so cute and like innocent that nobody will see him coming as a traitor. So then they can pull that same trick on the symbiotes and send him in there as a regular symbiote, and the other symbiotes will think, oh, he's just a regular symbiote, he's just a different color. But then boom, he goes anti-venom mode and kills them all and destroys them and like cures the planet of symbiotes. So that's definitely going to be really cool. But yeah, what do you guys think about this? I mean, that's all the promo photos. We just found out a whole bunch of information about this next upcoming episode of Marvel Spider-Man Maximum Venom. Like I said, the episode airs this Sunday, June 21st. I'm super excited for everything we're getting in this episode, especially Moon Knight, Cloak and Dagger, Anti-Venom, and then all these different Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy getting venomized. So it's going to be really cool to see, and I'm super excited. But what do you guys think about it? Please let me know all your thoughts on this down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.